Hello everyone, my name is Christoph, the cruise director here on the Caribbean Princess, and welcome to Guest Adventures, where everyone is a guest, including this guy.
Welcome to Guest Adventures.
Woohoo!
Thank you, Christoph.
You're very welcome.
The first stop on our cruise is Newport, Rhode Island. Before we walk around Newport, Rhode Island, take a look on Google Earth, an overhead view of Newport. We're going to close in on the city. We're going to see that baseball field that's in the upper part of the screen. We're going to take a look at the downtown area. And we'll spend a little time in the park and listen to some local entertainment. Before we left our cabin, this was on the television. We talked a little bit about tendering in the Newport and a little bit about the island itself and the city. The Newport Harbor, although it was full of large private yachts, cabin cruisers, and all types of sailboats, it's not deep enough for the ship to get into, so you have to tender. This is some of the views on the way to the actual dock that we went into, and the city park that it leads off into. This was a view of the ship that we came from. That's the Caribbean Princess. This is where I actually took the opening video as we go past the ship. Beautiful old three-masted ship there. Small little cruise ship. We were told that only 2 cruise ships at a time could go into Newport, Rhode Island, to cut down on how many tourists were actually in the city at any given time. Another view of the ship as we got closer to the harbor. I thought it was a very unique picture with the American flag from our tender waving in front of the ship. And as we got near the pier, a bunch of sailboats that are moored out there. We're going to take a look at some more large private yachts. Boat I could afford right there, but not attached to the one. But how do you like that name? No ETA. That's a great name for a boat. And there's a close-up view of one of the large yachts that were in port at the time. Beautiful ship. Once we got off the tender, we got a look at the park that's right outside the dock area. There's a lot of free transportation in Newport, Rhode Island. I like this wire sculpture of the two dolphins. Thought that was kind of unique. This is a look at the park. This was an information booth. I asked the gentleman that was behind the counter if he wanted to be on camera. He declined and he stepped out so I could take that view and look at the main street there, Newport, Rhode Island. Off in the back in the distance there is a baseball field. The Newport Gulls, we'll take a look at that a little closer. And as you can imagine in a tourist town like this, a lot of hotel space. A tribute to the local first responders on their way to help some people. And this is the baseball stadium for the Newport Gulls. It's a collegiate team. They play, I believe, June, July, and August, about a 45-game schedule. All college-aged players. Although they're sponsored by Major League Baseball, they're not affiliated with any Major League Baseball team, but there's a list of some of the players that have played here that have made the major leagues. I looked them up. Steven Strasburg was one. Chris Taylor of the Dodgers, that's another one. It's just a basic little field. It's not too fancy, but for a town like this, it would be a lot of fun. This is the Newport Station ice cream train. Looks like a train station. Very rusty tracks up front. Lying on the ground is the old poster. Now we'll take a walk around and look at some of the older buildings in downtown Newport, Rhode Island. Couple great murals on the wall to the right, in dead center there. Another clever name for a business, the Groom Room, with the O's all being paws for the animals. Very clever. Back at the park on the pier, this police officer was here just walking around making sure all the tourists were safe. He was kind enough to turn the lights on the vehicle for me so I could get a good picture of it. And we'll close in and take a good look at the Newport Police badge logo on the side. Another tribute and call out to first responders.
I'm going to the country, going down that Rhode Island lane, with nothing but a whistle in my hand and a pocket full of rain. Can you hear that distant sound coming down the West Fair Railway? I'm running shades of gloria. Wind is full of memories.
I'm sitting on the balcony of the Caribbean Princess with my energy drink in hand. We're still at Newport, Rhode Island. We're going to be setting sail for Boston next. Tonight will be a formal night. We visited the town, got off the ship. It was beautiful. The weather's been great so far. The town is really nice. My wife tells me that her mother always wanted to visit the New England states and Rhode Island, and we didn't get her here, so I'd like to dedicate this episode to my late mother-in-law, Dorothy.